Hi, everybody. Hey. Today's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. Miss Sheila, I saw you say Barchi must be acting up. It's not Barchi, it's actually my hair. I haven't been live in a few. Well, I think we went live on Sunday, but Sunday I don't even know how I wore my hair. But I'm in this like, do I want to grow my hair out? Do I want to cut it face? This is like longer than I normally keep it. And it's difficult because I don't really like the TWA, but I'm in like this TWA phase. Do I want to cut it or what do I want to do? So I'm trying to figure it out. But hello to everybody. Thank you guys for joining the live. Today we're going to be talking about Miles Farley and everything that's going on with him. And Aaron's going to come over and actually explain what happened with him. Hey Kayla, hey Miss Sheila, hey Erica. She said, "Can somebody wake me up from the reality dream?" I don't like it here. Me either. I went to the grocery store yesterday and I spent $236 and I still don't know how. I don't like it at all. Hey India, how you doing, India? Hey Too Pretty, thank you. Hey Aisha, hey Claudia, hey Princess, hey Nick, hey Mute, hey Latoya. I'm thinking about it, India girl. We're gonna see if I can make it another week or so. I probably will. Hey, Jamaica. Hey, Cass. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Emmy. Hey, Yates. Hey, Destiny. Lord, y'all, I think I'm getting hot already. Hey, Brina. Hey, Janice. Hey, Susan. Hey, Serena. Aisha, I don't know if I spoke already, but and hey, Taranika. Y'all, eggs. I think I paid like $4.69 for eggs. Orange juice was like $5. Yes, I remember because I was picking up certain things. Like, wait a minute, how much? It was just, I didn't enjoy my time at the grocery store yesterday. But I did buy a lot of stuff that I can cook because I don't want to eat out. If I'm spending this much at the grocery store, I'm not eating out. I'm just not doing that. Hey, Ebony. Hey, Shameen. Hey, Ashley. So hold on, y'all. I got Aaron here. Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Thank you so much for doing this, girl. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Do you
So
know if I can share files up here?
I think
Let
you
me
can.
see.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got hot. I might need to take my jacket off. You can, Aaron.
Okay, then let
You
me
should be able to present and you can share things.
let me just upload the whole folder at this point.
It's $8 in Memphis. Oh my God, Miss Sheila. I started to buy. They had like I think it was two. I don't know how many eggs it was for $21. I was like, man, I might just need to do that because with this trying to like work out and eat right, I really am. I feel like I make eggs a lot more, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to work around it. I'm gonna have to work around it. Orange juice in Nashville is $7.99. Wait a minute, Camilla. I bought the Kroger half gallon of orange juice. It was like $4.89. I said, this is a half gallon. It's normally $1.50 something cent, like 159 or something. It was $4.89. It's too much. Aaron, they said you went and switched and got a sexy pick up there now.
I just saw that. I was like, Sheila, please. I didn't know how to upload one last time, and it just had like an initial up there. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. I figured it out this time.
Yeah, and I apologize. We were supposed to do this last week, and I'm happy we're getting to do it. Y'all know my baby comes here. I think he's coming on Thursday. So I don't know what LJ wants to do. And Princess, I had noticed that things were expiring sooner. That's crazy too. But oh Lord, it's just too much. But we were supposed to do this. So I'm really happy. Hey, Blue Skies. I'm really happy that Aaron is here to kind of explain to us what's going on with Miles and what could potentially happen in the future. I think I'll say for myself, I was just really shocked. Like, damn, damn, don't let them get you caught up. Like one, I wouldn't even be in Fulton County, like ever. I don't even was he in Fulton County, Aaron?
Yeah, he was.
I wouldn't be there. I just wouldn't be there. I don't have a criminal record, guys. I am an upstanding citizen, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to go in Fulton County.
Well, Miles didn't have one either before this.
You said, oh, true. I wouldn't want to go there. Hey, David, I just wouldn't. And he was on Cleveland Avenue. So I have everything, guys. Like I've taken a whole lot of, and I know Aaron has some documents. Aaron, do you have the affidavit?
Yes, I have pretty much everything, I think.
Okay.
I have his final disposition case, all of his, I mean, it's just two. His first appearance form, bond form, booking and release, the statutes that we have to look at, and then the warrant as well.
Okay. Oh, look. All right, then. Let's go.
Lord, okay. I don't know. Mel, can you see the 22 SC?
Hold up. There you
that's
go.
On there? Okay, cool.
Now, Aaron, you have to explain this to us like we're 5. I don't know if we can. I can see it, but I can't really read it that well. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know how to zoom it more. You probably can. I'm not sure. Or you could tell us what it says. That works too.
This is just his final disposition. I wanted to go over this just so we're all on the same page with like what his conditions actually were under his plea.
Okay.
So basically, we all know he entered his offered plea under first offender to conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. 5 years probation. Everything else was dropped. Okay. And then we get into the actual conditions. Let me see if...
Now, Aaron, his conditions would be, hey, we're gonna give you this plea, but in order for you to be in keep good standing with the plea, you have to avoid or do these things, right?
Pretty much, yes. And it says the defendant is adjudged guilty. Adjudged is odd. Usually I see adjudicated. Adjudged guilty or sentenced under first offender or conditional discharge for the above stated offenses. The court sentences the defendant to confinement in such institution as the Commissioner of the State Department of Corrections may direct, with the period of confinement to be computed as provided by law. Obviously, he wasn't sentenced to any confinement. He has 5 years to be served on probation. And then the above sentence may be served on probation provided the defendant shall comply with the conditions of probation imposed by the court as part of this sentence. The general conditions of probation. So these are the ones that are a little bit difficult because it depends on who your probation officer is a lot of times, honestly, because it's things like, don't violate criminal laws of any governmental unit. Yeah, but be of general good behavior. If your officer is Viverito, what she considers good behavior might not be what a normal person considers good behavior.
So it's really subjective how that person feels in terms of what's good behavior and what's not.
Yes, at least like in... So a lot of my clients, even after they get out, some of them get out on parole, some of them get out with previous felonies and are sometimes subject to conditions of supervision. Sometimes they have a really nice parole officer and sometimes they don't. And how successful they are on their probation can sometimes depend on how nice their PO is. They're a client right now that is trying to find housing. She's living with her daughter currently, and she is trying to find like a solid apartment. And they keep telling her like, nope, not this one, not this one. And she doesn't really know why. And so it's just like, it's difficult. And sometimes those things are really subjective. A lot of times officers are not that nice, and Yates is absolutely right. Parole is much better than probation because then they're at least like, well, you served some time incarcerated, so, we'll be a little nicer to you as opposed to like constantly holding the threat of incarceration over your head. And like general good behavior is absolutely subjective. Like avoid injurious and vicious habits, avoid persons or places of disreputable or harmful character.
I just don't like that wording.
Yeah, they're very vague, and that can sometimes make it hard to follow.
Mm-hmm. I could
Report
see
to
how it would
community
always make it hard.
supervision.
Because I may be comfortable in certain areas, but you may view it as a place I shouldn't be in.
Yeah, and it's with people as well, especially as we see their little like 6-point or 8-point gang identification system, because the person he was with doesn't have any convictions for participation in criminal street gang activity. Like, he has prior convictions, not for gang activity though. So that's not necessarily like an adjudicated thing. That's mostly just the last point on there was associates with other members of a gang. It's like, well, what do you expect Mr. Greer to do other than like cut off his entire family, maybe like reinvent the wheel of DNA so he's no longer related to Young Thug? It's like, this is how ridiculous it's getting at this point. Like, he can't help that.
You can't help it. And I feel like, sometimes, in that instance, you're set up to fail because, that's just like people, we go with the whole barring them from Atlanta thing. It's like, in essence, I understand it. They're thinking if I bar you from Atlanta, you'll stay out of trouble. But then you think about a person whose whole family lives in Atlanta. Now this person is forced to be away from their family. Are they going to be able to survive?
Right.
It's really, I don't know. I wish it were a better system. I wish it were a better system. I just do.
Yeah, and then he has general like report to community supervision officer, work faithfully at suitable employment. Again, suitable employment, subjective. Do not change your place of abode, move outside the jurisdiction of the court, or leave Georgia without permission. If permitted to move or travel to another state, you agree to waive extradition from any jurisdiction where you may be found, and not contest any effort by any jurisdiction to return to the state. Support your legal dependents to the best of your ability, and Miles does have a son. When directed, in the discretion of the community supervision officer, submit to evaluations and testing relating to rehabilitation and participate in and successfully complete rehabilitative programming. Wear a device capable of tracking location by means including electronic surveillance or global positioning satellite systems. Complete a residential or non-residential program for substance abuse or mental health treatment, and or agree to the imposition of graduated sanctions as defined by law, and make restitution ordered by the court. And then they ordered him to pay his probation supervision fees as required by law, which can be very, very expensive. Special conditions.
Aaron, just a second. This is Miles, right?
Yes, this is Miles.
This is Miles. Did y'all hear you say he had to wear a GPS monitoring?
He doesn't right now. That's when directed and in the discretion of the community supervision officer.
I got you.
And that's something I'll kind of go into later. I don't think that's going to be a factor for him here, but it is like an option. It's something that he had to do while he was on bond, was wear wrist and ankle monitors.
Okay, I got you. I thought you were saying now. Okay.
And then special conditions. Go to next slide. There it is. Okay. Special conditions, sentence under the provisions of I believe it's the Probation Options Management Act is the full statute. I might be wrong about that. So Yates, if you happen to know, please correct me, because Georgia code is confusing. I don't understand why I have to go to 16 different statutes to find one answer. That's not how it works in Missouri. And then all other violations back to Judge Whitaker. And then he is under first offender. So the defendant consenting hereto, it is the judgment of the court that no judgment of guilt be imposed at this time, but that further proceedings are deferred, and the defendant is hereby sentenced to confinement at such institution as okay, thank you, Yates. to such institution as the Commissioner of the State Department of Corrections or the court may direct, with the period of confinement to be computed as provided by law, so up to 20 years. Upon violation of the terms of probation, upon conviction for another crime during the period of probation, or upon the court's determination that the defendant was not eligible, is or was not eligible for sentencing under the First Offender Act or for conditional discharge, the court may enter an adjudication of guilt and proceed to sentence the defendant to the maximum sentence as provided by law. Again, 20 years. Upon fulfillment of the terms of this sentence or upon release of the defendant by the court, prior to the termination of the sentence, the defendant shall stand discharged of said offense without court adjudication of guilt and shall be completely exonerated of guilt of said offense charged.
Hold on, Aaron. I see. Brianna, thank you for becoming a member. Yes, I told y'all I am in a YouTube boot camp. And so part of my boot camp is a 8-week boot camp or 11-week boot camp. We have to turn our memberships on. So I finally turned memberships on. I think I have 2 tiers right now. I think it's $4.99 and $9.99. But I'll let you guys know at the end. It tells you what comes with the what comes with the memberships. But we'll have like exclusive videos. I'm gonna have some different lives and things like that going on. But thank you, Brianna. Sorry, Aaron. Thank you. I saw Brianna talking about it. Thank you.
You're all good. That's so exciting.
I know. I was so scared.
I have to join when I get off here.
It's a simple process. I thought it was going to be harder. It was a simple process, and they're like just kind of teaching us through this boot camp, teaching us ways that we can really connect more with our audiences and bring content that is actually worth you being a member for. So it's been great. It's been great. YouTube has been really great. It's been really great to learn from people at YouTube. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know the answers to these questions, so you're going to have to answer people on how they become members.
Oh, I'm sorry. It should be on the front of my page, guys. It should say membership. Like I said, it's 2 tiers, $4.99 and $9.99. And like I said, they're teaching us how to do the exclusive content, but part of the boot camp between here and the 28th of March, we had to actually turn it on. And I was so scared to turn it on. So memberships are on. And like I said, as we go through, I'll tell you guys what actually comes with the membership and what content I'll be putting out. But thank you, Brianna, for becoming my first member. Thank you.
Okay, and then this last page basically just says you're not allowed to have a firearm, which we already knew. If he successfully completes it, he can have a firearm again. But he said he doesn't have like a license for a firearm, although I know he had a license for a firearm before this happened, so that may have been something that he like surrendered as a condition of bond. I'm not 100% sure on that. And I don't know Georgia's firearm laws very well. I know they don't have a registry, which is wild to me. So that might be a question for Yates as well, as like whether or not that's something you can surrender, if that's something that expires after like a year and he just didn't renew it. I have no idea. But I wanted to go over his plea and probation conditions, just because so many of the guys in this indictment are going to be subject to conditions like this. And Georgia has like the highest probation population in the country. The length of probation sentences is like double the US average. According to Prison Policy Initiative, 28% of the jail population in Georgia is there for a parole or probation violation. It's
and
super
I wonder
easy.
why, because when I hear 15 years probation, I didn't think any of this was serious. I had never heard of a person being on probation for 15 years until this YSL trial. This was new. This was new.
You don't need a permanent all. Okay.
I think Tennessee's like that too now, which is scary. But I think it's like that too.
Scary. Okay, well, he can't have a firearm. He can have a firearm if he successfully completes his probation. And that's all I know about that. And I don't want to hear any of you talk about those jail calls that were played in those preliminary proceedings. But yeah, like 28% of the jail population in Georgia there for probation or parole. These standard conditions, because they're so vague, can be remarkably easy to violate. This happened with his bond conditions to an extent as well. In June of 2024, he had to have a bond compliance hearing. Shout out to Miss Sylvia for reporting on that. She was the only person that I saw talk about it. And I was not about to buy that transcript because it was like 150 pages long. Apparently, his monitor was pinging very close to Cleveland Avenue, and his bond conditions required him to stay away from the Cleveland Avenue corridor. But his bond conditions also stated that he could only live with a specific family member. And I'm not going to state that family member's address, but I do want to note that the street they lived on intersects with Cleveland Avenue, and the residence was pretty close to that intersection. So telling him to stay away from Cleveland Avenue is literally setting him up to violate his bond conditions. And that is the reason that he had to have a compliance hearing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so in many ways, like the standard conditions of probation also set people up to fail. And I think that this is like my personal opinion. Considering the administration that we are in now, I think it is also very, very important to remember the extreme racial disparities in probation revocation proceedings with respect to mass incarceration, the abolishment of slavery except as punishment for a crime, and the intentionality behind setting people up to fail. Because we can always hope that people will make better choices. We also have to recognize that like sometimes they genuinely don't have better options to choose from. Like sometimes people are actually just doing the best they can with what they have. And I know like
Miles is those. I've heard like behind the scenes things about Miles, and I will say
yes, so have I.
Miles is trying. He's doing the best that he can, and I hate that he got caught up in all of this because he is just not in a place to where he can make this go away, or he has the money to fight this or do things like that. So I hate all of this happening for him because, like you said, I think he's just trying his best.
And like with the money thing, I know that Mr. Menendez was representing him for free. Him and Miles's dad are friends, and I guess Menendez, he said this on Dennis Byron's page a while ago. I guess he was like handing out business cards at Miles' dad's barbershop, and they just he like helped him get a lot of like clients when he was first starting out as a solo practitioner. And then he took on Miles's case for free just because, you know, they're family friends, and he also felt like it was an injustice. But yeah, otherwise, it's probably likely that Miles would have been with a public defender. Not that that's a bad thing, obviously. Like, public defenders are amazing. Overworked, underpaid, deserve more funding. And if you see bills in your legislature advocating for more public defender funding, please write testimony in support of them. But yeah, I mean, Menendez was working for free, and you know, like Miles's whole family is in that area. I don't know that he has family outside of the Atlanta area, like at all. He is a handler for artists with Alamo Records. I know Winnie Lee, and I mean, Jabari Greer is an artist as well. So if he's working for a record label and most of his artists are based in Atlanta, and that's where his job is, and a condition is that he has to work faithfully at suitable employment, you know, not having employment would also violate that.
How do you do?
He also has a kid. Like, and I don't know that he has like the money to just pick up and move. He has a child. I don't know if he is still in a relationship with the child's mom. He very well could have a custody arrangement that says that he can't move his kid outside of the Atlanta area or outside of a certain school district. We don't know. Like, there are a lot of factors that go into how successful someone is able to be on probation that have nothing to do with their propensity to commit crime.
I'm just sitting here listening to you talk and just thinking of, I mean, Miles in particular, and just it's like all I can hear is the Tyrese meme. What more do you want from me? You know,
Yeah.
he's trying. It just sucks that he's just happy. I haven't read the full affidavit. I was going to read it when we were together here. So hopefully we'll go through it. You can kind of tell us.
Oh, I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to tell us what happened. But from what I'm hearing is he's just in a car with a friend. They get pulled over, and we'll go through. I don't want to talk about it, but it's just an unfortunate circumstance. Very unfortunate.
With respect to the warrant affidavit, there were some things in there that were said that to me were blatantly false. So last night I ended up going through Miles's entire social media just to be like, okay, is there any evidence at all that he possessed any illicit substances, that he illegally possessed a firearm, that the proceeds he obtained were illicit in any way or illegal in any way, because that is in the warrant.
That's in the warrant too?
It's in the warrant.
Okay.
And they were specifically like, oh, he's posing on social media. So I was like, well, let me go through his social media and see if there's literally any evidence of that. Unsurprisingly, the answer is no.
Aaron. After the bull that we just went through with the first case, they're still trying to use social media?
Oh, yeah. And will. Every time. But like I say that to say the thing that I did find is that like not only did he graduate from an HBCU, he graduated with honors.
Sounds like he is smart, like he is one of the guys that grew up in whatever area, but was always smart, went to college, finished college, and then to finish with honors. He's the fact that he has a clothing line makes me think that maybe he went to college, he got his degree, he's trying to have his own business, and that takes time. Thank you, Tasha, for becoming a new member. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Too Pretty. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Brianna. I want to make sure I say that on live and not in just the comments. Thank you, ladies, so much for becoming members. But it seems like he's trying to do his own thing. That takes time. And then you couple that with the fact that he probably doesn't have the seed money to do more than what he's doing right now. So,
well, Mineta said he was using most of the money that he got from being a handler for the record label to make clothes for his brand, to like actually print the items and mail them out to people. Because it costs money to do that stuff. It's not going to be profitable immediately. And it's, it's just...
Guys, why'd you say that? I don't want to. I've never heard that before. But have you seen something we haven't seen? Why would you say that?
Right, I haven't heard that either.
I have not seen anyone say that. I'm talking even behind the scenes combos. No, Blue Skies is here all the time. But maybe they have seen something we haven't. Even behind the scenes combos, I have never heard that once. I don't want to put that on him. I just think life is lifing. Life is lifing for me. You know, I just think that's what it is. Life is lifing. And when you are a person trying to build a successful business up, some people have this is my point. Amen. This is my what is it? This is where my focus is going to go. I'm not going to have it go anywhere else, you know? And I really, a piece of it is that I thought, you're talking about from the affidavit? Well, Erin's going to read the affidavit to us. Thank you.
We'll go over it. Blue Skies, you just wait. You just wait.
Affidavit or something, or thank you, Blue Skies. We're going to make sure we clear it. Always like, and I always have to say this, that I think, y'all know me, I'm familiar with people that are always in my chat. So I know that wasn't coming from a mean place, Blue Skies. I know that. But
Yeah, I go over that stuff just to say, like, a little compassion goes a long way when it comes to, like, looking at probation violations. Because I did see a couple comments, not on your platform, Mel, and not on Miss Jefferson's either, thankfully, on more of, like, the Shade Room style news report Instagram accounts that were like, at this point, he likes it in there. Girl, nobody likes jail.
Yes,
What do you mean?
come on.
And that was like before we even knew details about the stop. Like, they didn't show compassion, and it really can go a long way. I hope that people, including judges, particularly judges named Whitaker, if you happen to be listening, can keep that in mind when we think about the guys on this indictment.
Yes,
and so, like,
look, tell Paige,
that is the energy that, for real. Please. He's trying, okay? He's doing his best. So that is the energy that I want to, like, carry into this conversation about what happened to Miles. Because, like, I don't think that this is just a decision-making thing for him, and he is just, like, going around possessing a firearm for fun. I think he genuinely didn't know.
I just need to call Miles. I need to call Miles. We need to talk. Y'all know what I hate about this case. There are certain people from the case that I feel like I am just, like, rooting for. And when I saw Miles's name, well, someone called me and said, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened. And I'm like, what? When I heard his name, my heart just, like, no, not him. Because hearing his story, it's just like, man, it would be the biggest thing for him to just rise above all of this BS. And just, man, I mean, his clothes are everywhere. So I hated to hear his name. And then when I started hearing more about, what he's been going through, I'm just like, it's him. Like, I don't even know the Nard. I feel sorry for Nard. The Nard doesn't have clothes to wear to jail.
I know. I felt really bad about that too. I was like, God, like, I was like, okay, so can we get, like, a community closet started for Mr. McMullen and Mr. Eppinger? Like, their families aren't bringing them clothes. They're not allowed to be shown on camera because of it. Like, they need dress outs for court.
Aaron, okay, Aaron, we'll have to check. Okay, I was thinking that, but I thought it was a bit much to think that way. I was like, damn, we can probably find them 2 suits or something so that at least they can dress out for court. I mean, they're taking it off, putting it up. I don't know. The more I listened to this case, I felt like, man, some of these kids, man, like, this was inevitable, and I hate that. I hate that for them.
I mean, the reality is that, like, mass incarceration is a huge, huge issue in the United States, and, like, we're at a point where around 11 million people cycle between jail and their communities every single year, and realistically, a lot of those crimes are nothing more than crimes of poverty. And if we were, like, actually investing in life-affirming institutions, in options that allow people to thrive and support themselves, like, if we gave people better options, realistically, the majority of people would make better choices. Like that, and there's a lot of research on it, and it's something that I'm, like, personally very passionate about, like, mass incarceration as a public health issue, because a lot of my clients also come out with, like, really, really awful health issues. In fact, I don't have a single client that hasn't come out with a severe health issue, whether that be, like, a history of heart attacks. I have a client who had 3 heart attacks in prison. Many of my clients have come out with congestive heart failure, with severely progressed diabetes. A couple of clients have come out with cancer. One of my clients passed away just a little over 100 days after he was finally released from lung cancer that was never diagnosed while he was incarcerated.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Like, it is a public health issue. People are not, like, you can't be as healthy as you should be in prison, in jail, and we incarcerate too many people. And I'm not going to pretend that that's not intentional when we see, like, prisons, renting out labor to fight fires, to have people work at McDonald's.
Sentences and stuff. I'm just like, what is going on here? That's what we're doing,
honestly.
For people who are just joining, we call her our millionaire attorney. Okay, Aaron is on here now, and we are going over Miles Farley. Brianna, he was arrested last week. He's since been released out on bond, but remember, he took that first offender plea. So Aaron is kind of going over everything that's going on with Miles. What can we expect to happen, and what does this look like for him? She's also going to read the arrest affidavit. So for people that are joining, y'all, we're gonna eventually get Erin. Just still subscribe to her YouTube. She's gonna get it together one day. She's gonna get it.
No, I will absolutely not.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now, guys.
Yes. Okay, let's go over timeline. I'm gonna put the first page of the warrant up. Okay, so sorry, what?
Is this what you wanted? This what you wanted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Lord. So I'm going to go over the timeline of it first before we get into the warrant and the things that he is charged with. I don't necessarily know. I'll get into it in a second. So March 6th, around 5 p.m., him and Jaborius Greer are pulled over. They park in a parking lot. I'm not sure if the traffic stop was conducted while they were already parked or if they pulled into the parking lot and parked, but they pulled in or were parked in a parking lot at Cleveland Avenue and Old Hateville Road. And I want to make it very clear, because I've said that Miles is a handler for signed artists, that the address they were at is a recording studio. So it could just be that he was at work.
They were in the studio, Aaron?
Yes, I looked up the address. Yeah. So March 6th, he's arrested at Cleveland Avenue and Old Hateville Road. March 7th, like early in the morning, he is booked into Fulton County Jail. We don't know that's the day that it was released that he had been arrested. We don't know what's happening with him the entire day. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer, participation in criminal street gang activities, subsection A, and participation in criminal street gang activities, subsection B, which I will go over those in just a second. March 8th, he had a hearing at 11:30 a.m. I know I texted you, Mel, and then I also messaged Thugger Daily just to be like, he has a hearing right now. And Rasheed Oliver did grant bond.
I said, a hearing on a Saturday? Wait a minute. She said he's going to have a hearing right now. I'm like, on Saturday? What's going on?
Yeah.
And she
weekend arraignment.
That this is normal. Yep. This happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his hearing at 11:30. She granted bond. He paid it later that night. I know it processed because I was refreshing that page nonstop, all day. And so I think it was it was right before I went to bed that I was like, oh, okay, they have the surety bond listed, so it's been paid. And then it was $10,000 for the firearm, $7,500 for each count of participation in criminal street gang activity for a total of $25,000. And then March 9th, early in the morning, he was released on bond. Let me see if I can upload the images. Okay. Can you put up the GA code 16-11-131B?
Okay. Yes, yeah. I don't know.
So,
I don't know what's doing that, Aaron, so I apologize, but
oh, you're good. I don't know. It only lets me remove it from Studio, so we'll see.
Okay.
Let me see if I can just upload all of these.
I think for me, Aaron, I did not know he was outside of a studio, and it pisses me off because I this is why I love that we will go in and kind of research and see what's going on. From like hearing people talk, it's like, oh, they were pulled over for a traffic violation, the tent. But if they're sitting in the studio, if they're sitting in the parking lot of the studio, or did they pull over to the studio? Do you know which one it was?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I mentioned that they are parked like specifically because one of the things that's in there is a seatbelt violation.
You know, I can't.
They couldn't have seen while driving if the windows were tinted. And by the time you pulled them over, if you see it when the window is rolled down, they're parked. And it is not illegal to sit in a parked car in a non-moving vehicle without your seatbelt on.
The seatbelt thing is just ticking me off because now y'all just doing shit now. You're just doing stuff now.
I'm going to go over these charges. This warrant irritated me to the deepest parts of my soul. So the first one is possession of firearms by convicted felons and first offender probationers. Any person who is on, and I'm going to try to skip a lot of the legalese just because it gets convoluted and it makes things confusing. So basically, any person who is on probation as a felony first offender was sentenced for a felony under subsection A or C of Code Section 16-13-2, and who receives, possesses, or transports a firearm commits a felony. Upon conviction, shall be imprisoned for not less than 1 year, nor more than 10 years. Upon a second or subsequent conviction, imprisoned for not less than 5, not more than 10, and then further, if that felony for which the person is on probation or has previously been convicted of as a forcible felony, then it's a period of 5 years. And forcible felonies, he is not convicted of a forcible felony. Forcible felonies are things like homicide, burglary, aggravated sexual offenses, crimes against children, etc. Any person who's prohibited by this code section from possessing a firearm because of conviction of a forcible felony or because of being on probation as a first offender, and who attempts to purchase or obtain, transfer a firearm shall be guilty of a felony, and upon conviction shall be imprisoned for not less than 1 year, nor more than 5 years. Upon a second or subsequent, this is his first one, so whatever. And then 16. Can you put up 16-13-2?
Is this it?
Okay. Yes, it is. So, oh Lord. This is like the first offender that he is sentenced under. And it basically just goes over what everyone already knows, which is that he will be adjudicated guilty, not under first offender, just regular guilty without, like, just by page, essentially. If they try to revoke, and he would face resentencing up to the maximum amount of time, which is 20 years for the charge that he pled to.
Aaron,
which is terrifying to me.
I gotta stop you because we need to understand this part. This is crucial. If they revoke his probation and he has to be resentenced, there is a possibility that he could be sentenced to 20 years.
If his probation is revoked, and Paige doesn't have to sentence him to 20 years.
But she might and send him to 5.
Honestly,
I'm sorry, Aaron. That's true.
I will go over it. I will, I promise, because I have like warrants, constructive possession versus equal access, what happens next, and then we'll go over it. I promise. Okay, and then can you put up code 16-15-4? Let me see.
Aaron, did you tell me to put another one up?
Yes. Could you put up 16-15-4?
Yes. Okay. I thought I heard 4 and I was looking. I see it now. All right.
Okay. So this is participation in criminal street gang activity or criminal gang activity. He was charged with 1 count of subsection A, 1 count of subsection B. So subsection A is, it shall be unlawful for any person employed by or associated with a criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal gang activity through the commission of any offense enumerated in paragraph 1 of Code Section 16-15-3. And then charged with subsection B as well, which is, it shall be unlawful for any person to commit any offense enumerated in paragraph 1 of Code Section 16-15-3 with the intent to obtain or earn membership or maintain or increase his or her status or position in a criminal street gang. So we're back on this crap again.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. That hearing this, it says shall be unlawful for any person employed by or associated with a criminal street gang to conduct or participate in this activity, whatever, right? Now, I'm wondering if this is before. Now, I don't know this to be true, and because I haven't read the whole affidavit, so you can tell me. Wasn't he with Thug's nephew?
Yes, he was.
I think that's going to be a problem for Paige. I think
it could be.
Do you think that, and do you think that is why the criminal street gang activity is attached? Because
partially, yeah.
Not the nephew, but who the nephew is associated with.
Yes, partially.
Okay. All right.
I do think that they have some plausible deniability because of his job. Because, obviously, they're also going to consider Winnie Lee to be a person who is associated with a criminal street gang. It's Miles's job to be a handler for Winnie Lee. He cannot get around that. So he either violates his probation by hanging out with Winnie, or he violates his probation by not having employment.
Well, here we go back to what Miss Sheila said, and my apologies for for interrupting. Going back to what Miss Sheila said is, why is it not put in his, when he did the plea agreement, just like they did for Thug, make these exceptions, because we know this is work and he needs to be around this person. This is work. Why didn't we put that in there? Like, just sit down and think of every rapper that might be associated or could do this with, and say, listen, I might work with this person, and add them on just to be sure. Like, people, I saw someone say, why would Thug specifically request to work with Ghana if we haven't seen him working with Ghana? One, we don't know what the man is doing behind the scenes, but it's felt like a precaution. I need to go ahead and say this so that this is not a problem in the long run. Why didn't we do the same thing?
I honestly don't know. My guess, realistically, is just that, prior to this, Miles literally had no criminal history. His criminal history was traffic tickets that he paid, and quickly. Those dates are publicly available. He handled it immediately. And it's failing to stop at a stop sign. He's not.
And let me just say, I got pulled over one time for, I think he called it a rolling stop. If you are ever behind me, baby, prepare to be mad, because I'm stopping at a complete stop at a stop sign. You'll never get me there.
Yeah, it's very minor. And I genuinely think that Monetis could have just thought, well, there's no way that he's going to get caught up with a violation, so it doesn't really matter because he has no criminal history. And it could just be an experience thing as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see a request to modify the conditions of his disposition, just to make things extra clear, now that we know that they're clearly
out to get them
on his butt.
It doesn't,
for no reason, but on his butt nonetheless.
It seems like to me, Aaron, the issue is not Miles, right? I'm thinking, for me as an attorney, and like you said, it could be an experience thing. It's like Miles is not going to mess up, but people around him might, or Fulton County may force a situation with people around him. So what can we do to protect him for their future BS? You know, like what can we do in this regard? Like thinking ahead. So, like you said, it could be an experience thing. When I've seen some of the things that Brian is doing right now, it kind of feels like he's just thinking ahead. You know what? They may try to do something. So let's go ahead and put this out there. Let's go before the judge before this becomes an issue. So it may be, like you said, an experience thing.
It could very well also be part of their negotiations, because I believe that that was part of the issue with Young Thug's plea, was that they didn't want him to be able to continue to operate his record label with the people that he operates it with in the same way. That's part of the reason that he ended up entering that non-negotiated plea, is because he needed to be able to make music. So it could have been part of his negotiations, and they asked.
You're being too nice, Aaron. I love you. And I can't believe you being this nice right now. Let's just call it what it is. They wanted him to not be able to rap at all.
Yeah.
I think, and I said this when I was like, when he seemed so stressed, they wanted to take it all from him. Not like, we gonna put some restraint. They wanted to restrict him so bad that he wouldn't be able to do music out. They wanted to take it all. You've been a little nice.
Yeah.
I can't believe you being that nice.
I'm not trying to be nice to the state. I'm trying to be nice to Miles's attorney, because I do think that Miles's attorney, like, I don't think he wanted Miles to take that plea. I think he wanted to take it to trial and stress him out.
I'm gonna tell you, that lawyer in that watch, his watch told me he wanted to be front and center.
Oh,
on the court TV. Okay, he wanted to be front and center. I don't know.
Yeah, like, that's just to be like, well, they might have asked for him to be able to associate with Winnie Lee and, like, with Jaborius Greer or whoever else, and because Miles is not a rapper, it might not have been that important to him.
Yeah.
Like, at least not important enough to risk a blind plea. And that's a decision that is Miles's and Miles's alone. And we don't know what happened in those negotiations. So I don't want to malign his attorney. I think he's a good attorney.
That's why
I look forward to seeing his 87 general demurrers in this case that I know he already has ready to go, despite there being no criminal indictment.
He's ready. I know he's ready, and maybe this time he'll actually get to fight it, because y'all just don't understand how it bothers me so bad, and I don't care how many times I bring this up. Seeing Thug on that damn porch, okay, and to see where he's come now, I can't believe someone would try to just like take that away. That it was nobody but God that got him out from off that porch to where he is now. I just Priscilla says, stop being a passenger in folks' car. Priscilla, folks' cars. I'm gonna say this, Priscilla, because you're saying, like, one of my initial reactions, damn it, why would he get in the car? We don't know people's situations, and like Aaron said, he works for the freaking label. He has these two options. He's gonna have to stop what he's doing. Remember this, a label. If you're a person with a clothing line and you are in any close proximity to Young Thug, arguably one of the biggest rappers of today's time, okay? And I have the potential for my clothes, for him to wear my clothes, which could set my label up in a way. All it takes is the right moment, right time. I just looked at a lady. She said she had a jewelry line for years. Meghan Markle wore a $195 bracelet. She sold out within 4 hours. She said inventory she'd been sitting on for a year, sold out. It only takes one time. You know? So I think with Miles, I thought that too. And it's just, for me, guys, I'm not in it. But I don't want to ride through Fulton County. I'm sorry. If I were any defendant in the YSL trial, baby, go around. I do want to make sure what's in your car. But this is also a person he's very familiar with. I just saw them on live together. He's familiar with this person. Not thinking, they probably on the up and up. For
Listen, I was more mad at his little friend. So I was like, you have been on First Offender, and you know he's on First Offender. So you need to have his back. If you're going to have a firearm in the car, have it on your person. Have it in an area where Miles can't be accused of possessing it.
Yes,
because you're going to screw him over. So I was more mad at his friend for not having his back. Honestly.
You know what, Aaron? I didn't even think about that, but now that you mention it, that too. Like, I tell, when I worked for those 3-letter people, I would, even though some people may think it's not the CIA, right? I still watch who I was with and what I was around because of the job I had. We are still public servants, so we can't be around everything. And so I'm always trying to look at what's going on around me. And so, I don't work there anymore, but I know people who do. And I'm always looking out for them, baby. I'm like, girl, you sure you want to do that? You sure you want to do that?
Right. You probably trusted that Jabarius would have his back, considering Jabarius has also been on First Offender at some point. Okay, let's go over 16-15-3, and that's the last one.
Okay, what you said, which one, Aaron?
16-15-3. That should be the only image back up there.
Got it.
Okay. So all of the stuff that they said, any offense enumerated in paragraph 1, this is paragraph 1. Okay. Criminal gang activity means the commission, attempted commission, conspiracy to commit, or the solicitation, coercion, or intimidation of another person to commit any of the following offenses. Any offense as defined as racketeering activity. Any offense defined in Article 7, Chapter 5 of this title related to stalking. Any offense defined as rape, aggravated battery, statutory rape, aggravated sexual battery. Any offense relating to escape and other offenses relating to confinement. It's a lot of stuff, okay? Like, it's
Aaron, does this say street gang terrorism?
Girl.
What the hell is street gang terrorism? They was sitting in a damn car. I mean, when I see street gang terrorism, I think of, I don't know if you guys remember a while back, they were saying gangs were taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Okay, I could see something like that. But they were sitting in a car.
Well, it kind of depends on, like, how we look at terrorism. Like, we look at terrorism and we think, like, 9/11. But the reality is, like, that the threat that they said that that thug said he was going to come back to the mall and kill somebody, or come back to the mall and shoot somebody, that's a terroristic threat.
Okay, I can see that.
So
I'm not seeing it here yet. I could see that. Okay, you tell me, what did you read that would warrant this? Have you read something that warrants this?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Eric said they were eating the dogs and cats.
Like, relating to escape and other offenses related to confinement, dangerous instrumentalities and practices, security of state or county correctional facilities, aiding or encouraging a child to escape from custody. Okay. Painting on, tagging, marking on, writing on, or creating any form of graffiti on the property of another. That's very interesting to me, considering that the quote-unquote experts in trial compared social media activity to the new gang graffiti. Yeah, it's not major. It's really not.
It's both of y'all saying nothing major.
Well, listen, you threatened somebody, okay? You said, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to come back and shoot you. And didn't do it. Be an adult. You don't need to go tell the cops about that. Just go home and mind your business. It's not that big of a deal.
This is a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot. Now, y'all, we don't have to get Miles over here for real. We need to buy some clothes or something. Jesus, my boy need it. We need to buy some clothes.
And then any criminal offense that involves violence, possession of a weapon, use of a weapon, whether designated as a felony or not, which I assume is the thing that that's part of the reason that they are saying that, like, this is gang activity. Unfortunately, that does require them to prove that he possessed the weapon, which I personally don't really believe that he can do. So, okay, so can you put the warrant back up?
I want to take you back. Yes, I will. I want to take you back to just, can you tell me again? You said this is the part where I think about the criminal street gang, but you said
it was the very last one, which is 1J, any criminal offense in the state of Georgia or any other state or the United States that involves violence, possession of a weapon, or use of a weapon, whether designated as a felony or not, and regardless of the maximum sentence that could be imposed or was actually imposed.
So can you explain that for me?
The firearm. The first charge is the possession of a firearm. Mm-hmm. And so they're alleging that in possessing that firearm,
okay,
that is the, like, criminal gang activity means the commission of any criminal offense in the state of Georgia that involves violence, possession of a weapon, or use of a weapon, whether it's a felony or not, essentially.
But Aaron, if they were just, and I'm sorry, if they were in the car, this weapon is in the glove box, how is it the gun, period, them having it just period puts it here? How do we go?
Pretty much. Like, that's the thing that makes his conditions so, like, the vague probation conditions so, like, deeply concerning, is because, like, he is not convicted of participation in criminal street gang activity. Jaborhi Greer has not been convicted of participation in criminal street gang activity. But because they've been identified as affiliates or associates of a criminal street gang, and whether that was by Viverito or someone who doesn't hide in bushes, we don't know. But, like, the association with a criminal street, like, we already learned that, like, you really don't have to be actually personally participating in criminal street gang activity to be considered associated with or affiliated with a criminal street gang.
I want to just say this to Aaron, because this is who I'm having a conversation with, and I know the chat's here too. First of all, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you. And I thank you to everybody in the chat, because y'all sit on here, y'all hear me all the time. When I meet people, I have to tell people all the time, you know, I am not being an asshole and I'm not slow. My brain just needs to hear things a certain way for me to pick up what you're putting down, okay? And when she read that, I just wasn't understanding the criminal street gang part. So thank you for going a step further and talking about the association, because as soon as you said association, it clicked. So, because I was sitting here like, damn, if I have a gun in my glove box, they could just say I'm in a gang or something. It's the association.
If you're related to somebody who is associated with a criminal street gang, then yeah, probably.
Girl, let me go clear my Facebook pages. I don't need them going through my Facebook talking about that man in the game.
Yeah, it's...
Wow. I hate this.
It's not, like, being a gang member, being associated with or affiliated with a criminal street gang is not as clearly defined in statute as we would like it to be. Like, there's not, like, clear-cut criteria. It's just, like, it's that task force identification system.
I hate this. Princess said, Mel, don't even worry about delete. They can track that.
They can't. I mean, one of the pictures they put up of Miles was, like, during the trials when he was, like, 14 years old. I was like, I couldn't even get that.
Luckily, I didn't grow up in an era where kids have 50 million Instagram and TikTok and Facebook pages. So hopefully, damn it, y'all right. Lord, they might jam me up, Jesus.
Listen, I'm grateful that my parents didn't let me have social media.
Damn, Aaron.
When I was that age. Because Miles and I are the same age. He's like a few days older than I am. They were putting pictures of him up there from middle school.
Aaron?
I'm 27.
Okay, when you said I couldn't have social media, I said she's got to be younger than me. Okay, you're 10 years younger than me. Well,
my parents were very, very strict with social media. They were super religious, so I wasn't really on it.
Worked out in your favor. Worked out in your favor, baby. No,
you can get me for street gang activity in middle school now. So,
damn, man. I mean, that just, I don't know why that alone, Aaron, just made me say, fuck. Because the association is there. They're going to try their best to prove the association. I mean, he was already in the previous trial. And, I hate that.
Let me pull up his Instagram because I follow him on there.
I did follow him. I didn't message him yet, but oh Lord, now I really don't want to message him. He just went through all of this. Damn, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't have any words at the moment. I really don't have any words because y'all just. Thank you so much, Missy. Thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you, Jaleesa. I don't know if I said your name already. And thank you so much, India, for becoming a new member. Y'all are just really warming my heart. I have a meeting today with YouTube, so I can't wait to get on there and tell them I got some members my first day on.
That's so exciting. Oh my goodness.
The YouTube class is exciting, and it's specifically, guys, y'all know everything that I'm learning. Once I'm done, I'm going to come back and share with you guys. But it's been really exciting. I don't know. It just kind of feels like, because they sent the invites out. So I'm excited to be a part.
Yeah, I don't know if you all can see that in the chat because I can't see it on StreamYard. I typed it in on my phone. His Instagram is _Slato_. So just in case people can't see that comment.
Yep, that's it. That's his Instagram. The only reason I found it, I've been looking for it, but I saw him online with B Slime, and that's what made me. I said, there's Miles. There's his Instagram. Okay.
We ready to go over this warrant?
Let's go, Erin.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go. I got my shot right here beside me. I'm sure at some point I'll take it.
I might need one too at this point. Because I already know I'm about to get mad.
So let's go.
Okay. Affidavit for arrest. Personally came Jay Storno. Not sure if y'all recognize that name. That is the officer that was hell-bent on getting yak for constructive possession of the items found in Jeffrey Williams' home. Yes! The officer that kicked him multiple times and spit on him during his arrest.
Time out!
That's the affiant of this warrant.
No. Well, okay, explain to me what the affiant is. Does that mean he just wrote it, or was he on the scene?
He's the person who, well, I'm not going to say wrote. He provided the affidavit.
What does that mean, provided the affidavit, Erin?
It means he got up there and said, like, to the best of my knowledge, this is the crime he committed. This is why I think that he should be arrested. This is why I think he should be charged with this, that, and the third.
Erin.
Yeah. So this is the thing that we were, like, kind of talking about, like, with wondering who provided the affidavit to the state to search Raven Liberty's computer, and wondering if the officer who provided it was Danny Polo, the person who is, like, apparently so paranoid that he thinks Raven Liberty is, like, trying to have him assassinated. So you're like, okay, is that the person who provided the information for the warrant? And, like, all of Viverito's, like, alleged
at this point,
reports
retaliation, because why would he be the one?
Like, this is where Viverito allegedly put all the information that she should have put in, like, a single report.
I'm taking my shot now. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I say I don't know if he wrote it because he refers to Miles as Mr. Johnson. Yeah, we'll go through it. Additionally came Jay Storno. Wait, what?
Is there anyone in this thing whose last name is Johnson?
No.
Now it makes sense. Kayla reshared something I tweeted and said the only person that's guilty in here is Mr. Johnson. Who the hell is Mr. Johnson? Okay.
First name Quez. Like, we don't know who he is. Okay, Jay Storno, who on oath says that to the best of his knowledge and belief, I don't know about knowledge, but I'm certainly belief, Miles Malik Farley, hereinafter called the accused, between March 6th at 5 p.m. and March 6th at 6 p.m. at 2865 Old Hateville Road, Southwest Atlanta in Fulton County, aforesaid, did commit the offense of unlawful for person employed by or associated with criminal street gangs to conduct and participate in criminal street gang activity, which is 16-15-4A, in that the accused unlawfully was employed or associated with a criminal street gang, Young Slime Life, a local subset of the criminal street gang Sex Money Murder, to conduct or participate in criminal gang activity through the commission of a crime enumerated in paragraph J. So paragraph J is the firearm.
Aaron, pause. And if y'all over here, Aaron's familiar that we pause and stop because
oh yeah.
Aaron, did they ever prove that YSL was a criminal street gang?
I think that depends who you ask.
Because not them going through the same spiel, YSL subset of Sex Money Murder. Like, they're going through this whole spiel, and I'm just really annoyed by what I'm hearing right now.
Oh, just wait. Just wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Because this thing is 3 pages long.
Aaron,
Lord.
I'm going to take notes, okay? I'm going to go on mute, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to ask all my questions at the end, because 3 pages, okay. I'm going on mute. I'm going to take notes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So paragraph J, which was the paragraph that we just went over involving the firearm, specifically a criminal offense in the state of Georgia that involves violence, possession of a weapon, or use of a weapon. The activity involved in the criminal offense of possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer, during which Miles Farley was unlawfully in possession of a Glock 17 9mm firearm. Mr. Johnson's documented affiliation with YSL, coupled with his presence in a gang-controlled location while armed, demonstrates his active participation in advancing YSL's criminal objectives. Possessing a loaded firearm in furtherance of gang-related activities aligns with YSL's established pattern of using weapons to protect and promote their illicit operations. These actions highlight Mr. Johnson's role in perpetuating gang dominance and securing the gang's operational stronghold. So, and this deponent makes this affidavit that a warrant may issue for his or her arrest. We don't know who Mr. Johnson is.
Aaron, I got to stop you again, y'all. Hey, Key, I said, don't shut up. But I have a question. All of this from a traffic stop?
Mm-hmm.
Who was doing all of this was from a traffic stop?
A traffic stop that didn't result in a ticket for the driver at all.
Thank you for becoming a member around this world. Y'all, I'm stressed. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, probable cause, summary of investigation. On March 6th at approximately 5 p.m., Officer Diaz Taylor, I don't know if that was a person who was involved in the case or not. There were too many officers for me to keep track. There are certain ones that I remember, like ones who kicked people, and certain ones that I don't.
Aaron, do you think they had a damn group chat going? I got one of these YSL N-words.
Probably.
It feels like it was a group chat. How's it so many damn officers? I'm gonna tell you, I already said it. Somebody called Funny and Love that night. Funny probably woke up and said, hello. You got who? But bring them in. I could just feel it. Okay.
Yeah. Officer Diaz Taylor and members of the Atlanta Proactive Enforcement and Interdiction Unit, the APEX unit, were conducting proactive enforcement along the Cleveland Avenue corridor in South Atlanta, also known as harassing the people who live there. This location is well known to law enforcement. Sorry, what?
I said clock it. Harassing people.
Yeah. Yeah. Because proactive enforcement, you didn't enforce anything.
What the hell is proactive
There's nothing
enforcement?
to enforce.
What the hell would be proactive enforcement? Just every time I get on live, I say I'm gonna stop saying shit in hell because I don't know if you can say that on YouTube and get the same ass. Every time, why do we have to read stuff that makes me say shit in hell? I need some new words or something. What is proactive enforcement?
It literally means they're just like trolling the area.
Hold up, Jasmine. Since he followed you right back, could you DM and tell him that I want to talk to him? I don't know if he followed me.
Just follow him on Twitter. He follows you on Twitter already.
Who?
Miles.
What the hell, Miles? Damn, I'm sorry, y'all. What's Miles' Twitter?
I think 24 Slato L.
Hold on. I don't even follow Miles on Twitter. Hold on.
Slato 24L.
Hold on, y'all. God damn it. 24?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it say follows me. But, girl, I didn't even know he followed me. Not me finna hop in the DM.
Right, I was like, just DM him on there.
In the DM right now. And I'm gonna go see if I can go holler at somebody to give me some kind of cosign so he'll come talk to us, y'all. I didn't know he followed me, y'all. I did not know he followed me, and y'all know I've been trying to talk to Miles too. But okay, go ahead, Erin.
Well, don't talk to him right now.
I want to talk to him right now. I can't talk to him.
Talk to his attorney.
I don't want to talk to him about the case, Erin. Not the case. I want to talk to him about clothes. Okay. Erin, we're going to chat. Erin's the unofficial attorney, so she said, okay, go ahead. We're going to talk about it.
Don't do anything that might get him snatched up.
We won't do that.
God. Okay. So, jeez, here we go. Proactive enforcement along Cleveland Avenue corridor. This location is well known to law enforcement for its high rate of violent crime and narcotics distribution, particularly criminal streaking activity primarily controlled by members of Young Slime Life. While patrolling the area, Officer Diaz-Taylor conducted a traffic stop at 2865 Old Hapeville Road Southwest on a black Ford Mustang, Georgia tag for violation of OCGA 4873-1 regarding illegal window tint. Upon approaching the passenger side of the vehicle, traffic stop. They've stopped. They're parked. Okay, keep that in mind. We are in a parked car.
So they are parked.
Taylor.
Are you confirming? I'm sorry. Are you confirming that they are parked?
Well, he stopped them. They got to park.
Okay.
They didn't flee.
Okay.
The car was not in drive, so.
Okay.
Upon approaching the passenger side of the vehicle, Officer Diaz-Taylor observed that neither occupant was wearing a seatbelt. Again, they're parked. That's not illegal. The officer identified himself and requested identification from both individuals while informing the driver of the reason for the stop. The driver was identified as Jaborius D. Greer and the passenger as Miles M. Farley. During the interaction, Officer Diaz-Taylor observed what appeared to be marijuana flakes scattered on the center console. By the way, simple possession of marijuana is decriminalized in Fulton County.
Say it again. Say it again for the people in the back one time, Erin.
It is not legalized in the state of Georgia. It is not legalized in Fulton County, but simple possession of marijuana is decriminalized in Fulton County. So the one crime that Miles has committed in the past is no longer a crime.
I just love on this channel how we really get informed, okay? And I love that we have great minds like Erin to really inform us. Go ahead, Erin. Okay. I'm sick already. Y'all know I don't like drinking a lot. I need another shot to get through this.
What appeared to be marijuana flakes scattered on the center console and floorboard of the vehicle. He approached the passenger side as well, which is interesting to me. Based on training, knowledge, and experience, this raised suspicion of possible narcotics possession. He knows weed when he sees it. Don't question it.
I don't get this. If you are in Fulton freaking County. Why you riding around with any weed? Like, don't roll up in your car. Like, how hard is that? Don't roll up in your car. You right by the studio. Roll up in the studio. Do something. Why do you have to be in the car? Because if they see it, then that's gonna be some type of probable cause, and now I want to search a car. Why you rolling up in the damn car? Y'all got to be smarter. And why are we being smart? Not because of who you are, but because of who you're associated with.
Based on like training, knowledge, and experience, honestly, like it reminded me of when I was in high school and I hotboxed my car with my boyfriend at the time, and then parked in my mother's garage like an idiot.
What you do, Aaron?
Hotboxed my car, smoked in the car with all the windows rolled up.
I was gonna make my camera black and go X if that's what it was. I didn't want to act ignorant on this a lot.
And then I parked in her garage like a moron, and she went out there to get something, and then came back in and was like, "I know what weed smells like." That reminds me of this officer. You're like, "I know weed. I've seen it before."
I'm gonna tell you,
and that's their entire probable cause.
Aaron, let me tell you what happened to me one day. One day I was at the studio. And I let a person who shall remain nameless smoke. We were in the car. He smoked in the car, whatever. I leave. Hours later, I get pulled over because I didn't get over a lane or something. The car smells like weed. And now my car has to be searched. And why was it a baggie? He ended up letting me go, whatever, because I just said, listen, I was in the studio. I just let somebody sit in my car. Maybe they smell like it, but I'll never do that shit again. Okay, because not you out here thinking I smoke, baby. I don't even smoke.
I never did it again. My car smelled like that for weeks. I don't
know what the hell hotboxing a car is. I don't give a damn about y'all in this chat talking about, Mel, you can't be that green, or how about I don't smoke? Okay, I don't know smoking terminology. Tell me some damn. When she said hotbox, I thought she stole a car. Until she said in the garage. I said, oh.
Wired.
Leave me alone in this chat, damn it. Okay? Leave me alone in this chat, damn it. Go ahead, Erica. See, these people they always turn on me every damn week. I have to fight for my life in this chat. I'm not studying you damn people. I told y'all I live in South Memphis, but I'm not of the South Memphis world. Okay, I did think Aaron had stole a little car. Kids do. I used to steal my mama car when I was young. We do crazy shit when we young.
I just want to clarify for the record, I have never stolen a car.
What hot wiring a car is? She didn't say hot wiring. She said hot boxing. Leave me alone. I'm not finna fight for my life in this chat. I didn't know what the hell it was.
Okay. When asked if there are any firearms or illegal substances inside the vehicle, both individuals denied possessing any contraband. Given the presence of suspected marijuana residue and the occupant's statements, both individuals were asked to exit the vehicle to allow for further investigation. A request was also made for a K-9 unit to respond to the scene and conduct an open-air sniff. K-9 handler Officer Pagan arrived shortly thereafter with his K-9 partner Jumbo, who was a snitch. The K-9 performed an open-air sniff and possibly alerted to the driver's side. What?
Who's a snitch, Aaron? The dog?
Jumbo, the dog.
The dog is a snitch?
Yes, he is.
This is some bullshit. Baby, let me get up and get another shot. The dog is a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
Jumbo, the dog, is a snitch.
Jumbo should have just sat there and ate his treat.
Man, this is some ignorant shit. Okay.
The K-9 performed an open-air sniff, positively alerted to the driver's side door of the vehicle. I want y'all to remember that he alerted to the driver's side door of the vehicle.
Not Miles.
Indicating the presence of narcotics. Based on the positive alert, Officer Diaz-Taylor advised both occupants that a probable cause search of the vehicle would be conducted. During the search, a Glock 17 9mm firearm was discovered inside the glove compartment. Additionally, a white pill with the markings T-194 was found on the passenger side floor near the door. Not the driver's side, the passenger side. A pill identifier search confirmed that the pill was oxycodone, also known as he Googled it, a Schedule II controlled substance. Both individuals were immediately detained. So they find 3 flakes of marijuana and 1 oxy that's all dusty from sitting in the floor of the passenger side where the dog did not alert. And then they find the firearm in the glove compartment. Okay. And then when questioned about the firearm, neither Mr. Greer nor Mr. Farley claimed ownership, both stating that they were unaware of its presence inside the vehicle. A criminal history check was conducted on both individuals, along with a status inquiry on the firearm. The firearm was found not to be on file, so it's not a reported stolen firearm. However, the background check revealed that Mr. Farley was currently on first offender probation following a conviction for violating the Georgia RICO Act, which is not what he pled to, by the way. He pled to conspiracy to violate. He did not plead to violating. They got that wrong throughout the warrant. On December 17th in Fulton County Superior Court, Officer Diaz-Taylor read Mr. Farley his Miranda rights, which he acknowledged and voluntarily waived, agreeing to speak without an attorney present. Don't do that again, Miles. Always have your attorney present. When asked about the firearm, Mr. Farley denied any knowledge. Sorry.
Let me say, Erin, that's what pissed me off, baby. Let me tell you something. I don't give a damn. I have an aunt that's an attorney. I won't tell y'all what type of law she practices, but well, y'all probably already know I said it. Bankruptcy. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna call her every time. I'm gonna say, let me get my lawyer on the phone every time.
And honestly, like the statements that they're talking about, like they're really not. He didn't say anything like incriminating for himself. Like it's not anything like that. But just in case, like, just don't, because even if you speak to if there's a robbery at a grocery store and you speak to the police without an attorney and you say, well, I was at the gas station at that time, but the gas station is across the street from the grocery store. Now they have a reason to ask you follow-up questions. Don't give them a reason to ask you more questions. No, Erica, they're not going to throw it out.
Erin, you warned me. You warned me.
Mm-hmm.
I might be out of my mind by the time we get through this damn affidavit.
Just don't speak to the cops without your attorney. Regardless of whether you've been read your Miranda rights or not, just don't talk to the cops without your attorney present. Don't risk it. Even if you think you're not giving incriminating information, you might still be giving them something that they could use to incriminate you in the future. Just don't risk it. Say, I want to speak to my attorney, and then shut your mouth. Okay.
It's enough SVU, Law and Order episodes out there for people to know that.
You would hope so. People don't always know. Miles should definitely know.
He should know.
Don't do that again, Miles.
Baby, in Fulton County too. Baby, you better get that lawyer. You better call that lawyer. I don't give it. I'm telling y'all, my auntie, she's 60-something years old. Baby, if we get pulled over at 3 a.m, I'm on her phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me call my lawyer. And I'm going to call her. And, hopefully she figured out how to talk to him. But I'm always going to call.
Okay, when asked about the firearm, Mr. Farley denied any knowledge of it or involvement with firearms. However, Mr. Farley was seated in the front passenger seat, directly adjacent to and within arm's reach of the glove compartment where the firearm was located. Given its close proximity and ease of access, it was determined that Mr. Farley had constructive possession of the firearm. Further supporting this conclusion, Mr. Greer later offered to take responsibility for the firearm in exchange for Mr. Farley's release, an action that strongly suggested both individuals were aware of the firearm's presence before the stop. I disagree. I don't think that strongly suggests Miles was had knowledge of anything or was aware of anything. Like Mr. Greer stating, this is my firearm, I'm going to take responsibility for it. It's not Miles's, let him go. In no way suggests that Miles is aware that the firearm was there. Based on the totality of the circumstances, including the location of the firearm, Mr. Farley's criminal history, and the exchange between the two occupants, Mr. Farley was placed into custody and charged with possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. Mr. Farley would later be transported and booked into Fulton County Jail. The recovered firearm was booked into police property as evidence. Here we go. Gang investigation. The individuals and their roles within the gang. And again, it's Storno, who is the affiant of this warrant. Myself and members of the Atlanta Police Department's Gangs and Special Investigations Unit have extensive knowledge of both Mr. Farley and Mr. Greer, who are confirmed and documented members of the Young Slime Life Criminal Street Gang. Again, neither of them have any convictions for participation in criminal street gang activity. Doesn't necessarily matter to APD. Both individuals have actively promoted their gang affiliation through social media, regularly displaying firearms, flashing gang hand signs, and associating with other YSL members. Their online activity frequently references illegal activities, including drug distribution, serving as both recruitment tools and intimidation tactics. This is why I went through Miles's entire social media. It was like, let me see if there is any evidence, like even an indication of any of this. And there was not. Beyond mere affiliation, their online presence strongly suggests active participation in YSL's criminal operations. Both Farley and Greer have posted images and videos showcasing large sums of cash while in possession of firearms, indicating direct involvement in drug trafficking. Many of these images feature them alongside known YSL members, engaging in activities that further the gang's influence, including taunting rival gangs and brandishing weapons. Their presence in YSL-controlled areas along Cleveland Avenue, a stronghold for the gang's narcotics trade, further solidifies their status as active members rather than peripheral affiliates. Additionally, Farley and Greer have been repeatedly observed in photos with other documented YSL members, reinforcing their deep ties within the organization. Their content often glorifies acts of violence, celebrates retaliation against rivals, and memorializes deceased YSL members, practices commonly used to instill fear and maintain control. Their continued public display of weapons is not merely for self-protection, but a deliberate statement of the gang's power. Mr. Farley is also the self-proclaimed originator of the Make America Slime Again clothing line, which is primarily worn by members of the YSL gang.
This is sickening. This is sickening. It's the memorializing.
Right.
Like it's their damn friends. It's his I'm sorry. It's his friends. Why can't he say, damn, I miss my friend?
Right. It's not a crime to say long live Rudy or long live Phil.
It was their friend. They need to let it go, Jaleesa, but they won't. This affidavit, everything that I've heard is proof they are not letting it go. They are not letting it go.
Yeah.
I tried to wear, but they don't ship. I don't know, guys. He DM'd me back. So I'm if I can get him on, I'm gonna try to see if we can get like a special code or something going on here so that we can support him. I mean, having legitimate clothing sales gotta count for something. She said Miles just about to start posting Bible quotes. It's at this point, he just might have to. And here's the thing. I'll say it for me. If you have a clothing line, who are the first people that are going to support you? Your friends, your family, people around you. It makes sense that they're going to wear the Make America Slime Again stuff. That's going to make sense. Oh, right. She said we tried to buy. They never shipped it. What?
Well, we're going to see. I have like some questions about that just because like the website is not up anymore. So part of me wonders if he if it's not shipping or if the website was taken down, like specifically because they're like alleging that he is employed with a criminal street gang and that this is specifically a gang clothing brand, which is ridiculous. Yates, oh my God. This was months ago and the site was still up. Listen, I don't know about that. I mean, right now, it's not up. That's all I know. Maybe PayPal dispute? No idea. I'm not going to accuse him of scamming. I don't know that man. Okay. Mr. Farley Yates, oh my gosh. Miles, can you please ship her whatever she ordered?
Y'all ordered something? Because I'm about to get y'all clothes. Y'all ordered something and it didn't come? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God.
We're going to get you your clothes, girl. I'm going to tell them. I'm telling them right.
Yates, what did you order?
Yates, text me what you ordered, girl. We're going to get you your clothes, friend.
Right. Like, let's see if he has it in stock.
I'm in Atlanta. I'm getting ready to ship. I'm getting ready to ship my Millionaire Girls Club tees. So I'm in Atlanta. I'm gonna say, baby, just come give it to me. I'll ship it for you, free of charge. I'll pay for the shipping.
Okay, Mr. Farley has a criminal history that reflects his deep involvement in YSL's illegal activities. I think I've rolled my eyes so many times that they might roll out of my head next time. On May 9th, 2022, Mr. Farley and his 27 documented YSL gang members were charged in a 56-count indictment in Fulton County Superior Court. As part of the indictment, Mr. Farley was charged with violating the Georgia RICO Act. Again, not what he was charged with. He was charged with conspiracy. Okay, violating Georgia RICO Act, murder, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and 2 counts of participating in criminal street gang activity. As detailed earlier, on December 17, 2024, Mr. Farley ultimately pled guilty, Alford plea, to violating the Georgia RICO Act, again, not to violating, and was sentenced to 5 years probation. During his plea, Mr. Farley acknowledged that there was sufficient evidence that could have been presented to a jury to conclude his guilt, which is required in any plea colloquy. But okay. And that is the factual basis where Paige also rolled her eyes repeatedly. That was the sufficient evidence of Instagram posts and hoodies. Mr. Greer has a criminal record consistent with YSL's pattern of illegal activities. Notice they said consistent with and not he's affiliated with YSL.
Consistent with, exactly. Mm-hmm. Poor baby, because the boy looked like he been living it up in wherever he is, and now he might have a RICO. It's just too much. I just don't think it's going to end here. It literally sounds like they are public enemy number 1 in Fulton County. Thug and his whole family, all of his friends. They're public enemy number 1.
Consistent with YSL's pattern of illegal activities, including vehicle theft, aggravated assault, firearm offenses, and gang-related crimes. Gang-related crimes is not true. I did look at the case he was charged with. There is nothing related to gang-related crimes, anything included in that 16-15-4, nothing. It is armed robbery, aggravated assault, and cruelty to children. Nothing related to any type of gang-related crime. There are no official charges for that, and there are no official convictions for that. And so I want to be very, very clear about that. That this is not like an adjudication. This is simply APD alleging that both of these men are affiliated with YSL. On September 2nd, 2016, Mr. Greer and other documented YSL gang members were arrested and charged with theft by receiving auto, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm under 18 years old, criminal trespass, and obstruction. Again, no gang charges. Mr. Greer later pled guilty to the offenses under the First Offender Act. That's what I'm saying, Priscilla. They very well could have, because the dog did not hit on that side of the car. So, I don't know. It seems like there are a lot of different. First, it's tint, and then it's seatbelt violations, and then it's marijuana, and then all of a sudden the canine hits on the driver's side of the door, and now you find one single pill on the passenger side of the door. I don't know. Seems like you're kind of making stuff up as you go.
That's what it sounds like to me, but hey, who am I? Hey, Marquita.
YSL is a criminal street gang operating primarily in South Atlanta with its stronghold centered along Cleveland Avenue. The gang is heavily involved in drug trafficking, using the Cleveland Avenue and Conley Road corridors as primary hubs for narcotics distribution.
What gang, Aaron?
Selling dime bags at the gas station.
What gang?
I don't know. They're saying that YSL
I know they're talking about
is heavily involved in, right, the $15 baggie of weed.
Baby, YSL got to be
heavily involved in drug trafficking.
I've ever heard of. But YSL.
Right.
And no shade to them. Everybody just trying to get by how you get by, baby. But it definitely was no, it wasn't no money moving around in YSL like that. Missy said, where's the body cam footage? Something. And I feel like he's lying. It's key.
Right.
I think all of it is just a mess. She wants you to read it again, Aaron. She wants to reread that last part.
Okay. YSL is a criminal street gang operating primarily in South Atlanta with its stronghold centered along Cleveland Avenue. The gang is heavily involved in drug trafficking, using the Cleveland Avenue and Conley Road corridors as primary hubs for narcotics distribution. YSL controls a network of street-level dealers who sell and transport illegal substances, including marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, and promethazine or codeine syrup. Their drug operations generate substantial revenue, which funds other criminal activities and strengthens the gang's presence in the area. Substantial. That's a substantial $15.
Substantial is crazy. And it really goes to show that they are not giving up on what they think YSL is. And I'm happy YSL is not what they thought it was going to be, but they have, it seems like in their mind, YSL is Teresa what was her name? What's her name was Mendoza? On Queen of the South. I think that's what they thought YSL was running through Cleveland Avenue, and that's not it. That's not it.
Acting like Young Thug is like a Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, like he's making $1 million in a day on Cleveland Avenue. That ain't the case.
Listen,
I'm sorry. You know what? They're gonna have to go pull up that video, and maybe they need to rethink some things. They're gonna have to go watch him on that porch, baby. They need to rethink.
They heard that song with Dolly and Shannon, and she said 201K. That's what I made today. And they're like, she made that from selling weed at the gas station on Cleveland Avenue. We know right now. And they were serious. They meant that. Their drug operations generate substantial revenue. Sure. Very substantial. A whole $10. YSL operates a well-organized drug trade, with members overseeing specific territories within the Cleveland Avenue corridor to ensure continuous sales while avoiding law enforcement detection. Many transactions occur in high-traffic locations such as gas stations, convenience stores, and apartment complexes, where gang members use lookouts to alert one another of police presence. Narcotics are often stored in trap houses or hidden within abandoned buildings, providing a secure location for packaging and redistribution. I'm tired.
Aaron, we all just for the same case. Maybe did they not present some evidence to us or something? Maybe they did present some evidence, because I didn't see any of this that they're talking about right now.
It's like, what abandoned building? And what are they talking about with packaging?
I mean, first of all, this is pretty
Ziploc baggies.
Stop. And it really does feel very much like a targeted attack. I mean, a traffic stop this long. Hell, this thing longer than Detective Hogan report. And it was for a whole homicide. Like this.
Right. That's why I was playing public defender for Miles in these comments this weekend. He was like, listen, I've read the warrant. This is crap. Don't do it. Like, he does not like jail. He doesn't want to do those 5 years. Leave him alone. Because, like, what is this? This is your warrant? Like, this is your reason for a stop and for probable cause. Come on. Oh, Lord. Okay. To protect their drug trade and enforce control over their territory. I'm sorry. Enforce control over their territory. YSL members unlawfully arm themselves with firearms, often obtaining them through illegal means such as straw purchases, theft, and illicit firearm trafficking networks. The gang's access to firearms, including handguns, extended magazines, and semi-automatic rifles, facilitates acts of violence, including armed robberies, retaliatory shootings, and assaults on rival gang members. Many YSL members are convicted felons, prohibited from possessing firearms, and yet they continue to arm themselves to maintain dominance over their drug distribution network. YSL members frequently use firearms to instill fear in the community and eliminate competition. Numerous documented shootings have been linked to the gang, many of which were carried out in public spaces to send a message to rivals and reinforce their territorial control. In addition to targeting opposing gangs, YSL members have been known to engage in violent enforcement tactics against their own associates who fail to follow orders or mishandle drug proceeds. I literally don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about their own associates. Beyond direct acts of violence, YSL members flaunt their armed status on social media, posting images and videos of themselves brandishing firearms. These posts serve as both recruitment tools and intimidation tactics, furthering the gang's influence and reinforcing its reputation for violence. The gang's willingness to resort to deadly force to protect its narcotics trade presents an ongoing and significant threat to public safety. Erica, I do believe that they copied and pasted it, considering on the first page they called him Mr. Johnson twice. Like, this is not... I don't believe that this is something that was written, like, specifically for Miles and presented to get an arrest warrant for Miles. It feels very much copy and pasted. Okay, YSL members flaunt their armed status on social media, posting images and videos of themselves brandishing firearms. These posts serve as both recruitment tools and intimidation tactics, furthering the gang's influence and reinforcing its reputation for violence. The gang's willingness to resort to deadly force to protect its narcotics trade presents an ongoing and significant threat to public safety. Criminal street gang activity. Miles Farley's actions. It's Miles Farley now. It's not Mr. Johnson. Don't worry.
Exactly. Like, are we seeing this?
On March 6th were a direct violation of Georgia's gang statute, as they demonstrated his active participation in criminal street gang activity and furthered the interests of the young slime life gang. Under Georgia law, individuals violate the gang statute when they engage in criminal conduct to benefit, promote, or maintain their status within a criminal organization. Farley, a documented YSL member with a history of violent and gang-related offenses, was found in possession of a firearm while on first offender probation. He has a history of violent and gang-related offenses, but he's somehow also on first offender probation. All right. Was found in possession of a firearm while on first offender probation for violating the Georgia RICO Act, a conviction that stemmed from his involvement in YSL's widespread criminal enterprise. His continued engagement in illegal activity, particularly in a known YSL stronghold, underscores his ongoing allegiance to the gang and its criminal objectives. Farley's presence in a vehicle with Javorius Greer, another documented YSL member with no charges for criminal street gang activity, is significant in understanding the gang-related nature of this incident. The Cleveland Avenue corridor where the traffic stop occurred is an area notorious for YSL's control over drug trafficking, violent crime, and firearms offenses. Farley and Greer's presence in this location, combined with their possession of a firearm, is consistent with YSL's operational tactics, as gang members frequently carry weapons to enforce their control, protect illicit proceeds, and retaliate against perceived threats. The fact that a firearm was discovered within Farley's immediate reach, coupled with Greer's attempt to to take responsibility for it strongly suggests that the weapon was intended for use in furtherance of YSL's criminal activities. Firearms are a central tool in the gang's ability to exert power, and possession of one, especially by a convicted RICO offender, Jesus, demonstrates a continued commitment to the gang's violent enforcement tactics. Farley's constructive possession of the firearm is particularly significant given YSL's reliance on firearms to sustain its reputation and territorial control. As a known YSL affiliate with prior firearm-related charges but not convictions, his access to a weapon in the heart of the gang's stronghold reinforces his role as an active participant in YSL's criminal enterprise. In gang culture, the access to and willingness to use firearms are critical in maintaining rank and respect by being armed while in the presence of another YSL member.
Wait a minute. Right? Wait. So if I just have access to a firearm, I now have rank and respect? Who's writing this foolishness? What's the man name? Because I'm going to have to put him on my TikTok.
His name is Joseph Storno.
Stornwell going on the TikTok today, baby. I'm glad I don't live in Fulton, baby, because he is going on a TikTok today. He is.
Yeah. And did you catch the Farley and Greer's presence in this location combined with their possession of a firearm is consistent with YSL's operational tactics, as gang members frequently carry weapons to enforce their control, protect illicit proceeds, and retaliate against perceived threats.
What proceeds, Aaron?
Right.
Did they have a lot of cash or something? Was there
no.
I didn't hear anything about money being found on them, like a large sum of money.
I didn't hear anything about that either. If they searched the car, it doesn't seem that money was taken in. Considering they did find like the one oxy, I feel like if they had found proceeds, they would have at least put it in the warrant to try to insinuate that those proceeds were somehow illegally obtained.
Okay.
So no, I don't think that they found like even a spare dime in the floorboard along with the oxy.
Aaron, you said a spare dime. Sorry. A spare dime. Like this is harassment.
It is. Like, it's honestly ridiculous.
This is harassment at this point. I'm sorry.
Like, it's Farley's constructive possession of the firearm is particularly significant given YSL's reliance on firearms to sustain its reputation and territorial control. As a known YSL affiliate with prior firearm-related charges, his access to a weapon in the heart of the gang's stronghold, he lives there, reinforces his role as an active participant in YSL's criminal enterprise. In gang culture, access to and willingness to use firearms are critical in maintaining rank and respect by being armed while in the presence of another YSL member. Farley was upholding the gang's code of violence and demonstrating his continued commitment to its objectives. Additionally, the broader context, exactly, Yates, no convictions at all, none for gang-related offenses, none for firearms, nothing. And they keep saying that he pled to violating the RICO Act when he pled to conspiracy. The broader context of Farley's association with YSL, including his previous gang-related charges, his social media activity flaunting firearms and illicit proceeds. Again, this is why I went through his social media. It's like, where are the firearms? Where are the illicit proceeds? Unsurprisingly, nowhere to be found. And his documented connections to high-ranking members further cements the fact that his actions on March 6th were not isolated, but part of an ongoing pattern of criminal behavior that serves to benefit YSL. His continued engagement.
Who are the high-ranking members? Because even Viverito said there is no hierarchy in YSL. Who are the high-ranking members?
Wish we knew. It's been almost 3 years. I still can't find a high-ranking member.
Did you say you're still looking?
Maybe Mr. Johnson is the high-ranking member. Hopefully someone can locate him soon.
We can have to find Mr. Johnson. He like, what's his name? Quez and Mike.
Yeah. Maybe that's Quez's last name, is Johnson.
Maybe that's it.
Flaunting firearms and illicit proceeds, his documented connections to high-ranking members further cements the fact that his actions on March 6th were not isolated, but part of an ongoing pattern of criminal behavior that serves to benefit YSL. His continued engagement in illegal activity, particularly in a location that serves as a base of operations for YSL's criminal enterprise, is a clear violation of Georgia's gang statute. The possession of a firearm, his association with another YSL member, and his presence in a known gang stronghold all point to his active participation in furthering the gang's influence, maintaining his personal standing within the organization, and perpetuating YSL's reign of violence in South Atlanta. And yeah, Jay Storno was the affiant. Kimberly Carey is the judge that signed off on it. And this affidavit was given at 10:41 a.m.
How do you read this affidavit and not think it's BS? It's like, and this is for the judge too. How do you read this and not be like, what?
Right.
Especially after
I read it and I was like, oh, you're making things up. You're lying. Okay.
Everyone in Fulton County knows the YSL case. How do you read this and not feel like it's full of mess?
Right.
I'm tired.
And the thing about these charges is I feel like it's going to be a similar situation because they're alleging that he had constructive possession where he couldn't actually plead to either count of participation in criminal street gang activity or possession of the firearm without pleading to the murder of Shamel Drinks. All of those charges were directly related to that crime. And so I feel like this is going to be another situation where if he's not in constructive possession of this firearm, then he's not violating paragraph J of 16-15-3, and so therefore is not participating in criminal street gang activity. And constructive possession, he doesn't have physical custody of it, like if the item was in his hand or in his pocket. To prove constructive possession, they have to prove that Miles knew that the firearm was in the glove compartment, that he had the power to exercise control over it, meaning he could open the glove box and use it, which is probably the one thing that they might be able to prove because it was within his arm's reach. I don't think that they can prove knowledge, and they definitely cannot prove that he had the intent to open the glove box and use it. Knowledge or intent are where they're going to run into their problems. You can prove constructive possession through circumstantial evidence. Being present in the area where the item is found is not enough. I haven't seen or heard anything about a witness who saw Miles with the firearm, surveillance footage of him with it, maybe a receipt or text messages talking about it. Miles said that he didn't know anything about the firearm. It's not his car. And Jaborius Greer, the assumed owner or renter of the car, took responsibility for the firearm. Those facts really do not benefit the state in trying to prove constructive possession. And the Georgia case law that I've read so far, I know Doug posted some and Thugger Daily posted some. Harvey v. State 2017, Hunt v. State 2021, Lee v. State 2021. All of those weigh heavily in Miles's favor. Exactly, Yates. A car that's not his, not a stolen gun, in a closed portion of the car. And the assumed owner of the car said that it was his firearm, that he would take responsibility for it. Like, it seems Miles really is not even involved in it. He has nothing to do with that.
B-Slime a real one. I like that. He a real one in a car that's not his. And it's not. I'm glad he's not.
Because he shouldn't have had it in a place where Miles could be charged with constructive possession.
I'm just happy he went ahead and said, "Yeah, it's mine." Because, I just hate the situation.
Oh, and I forgot. Also, after this warrant, no charges were filed for the Oxy. Key Menendez is his attorney. No charges were filed for the Oxy or for the weed. They can't file them for the weed because it's.
So why we gotta bring it up? Is this what we do? Yeah, I am, Monique. She said, "Are you breaking?"
And then the illegal tent that was the reason for the stop, Jaborius Greer was not even ticketed for it.
What?
Yeah, his last traffic ticket was in 2023. So the entire reason for the stop that resulted in Miles' arrest remains like unresolved, unticketed. It's apparently not even a problem to APD.
What the hell? So now you just picking with him.
Yeah. Their entire problem was Miles being in the car.
And I saw somebody get a ticket for 10. I didn't even think they really did that still, but I've seen people recently get tickets for 10. So the fact that they let him go. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to root for the boy getting a ticket, but I want to know what changed that made you not give him a ticket with a 10.
And I'm not rooting for him to get a ticket either. It's just very, very interesting to me that, like, this was your reason for the stop. And then you pulled them over for 10, and then all of a sudden it became a seatbelt violation. And then all of a sudden it became marijuana. And then all of a sudden it was the open air sniff. And then all of a sudden it was the oxy on the floor, and then the firearm. And all of this, when the initiating thing was the tent, is left untouched.
Yeah, that's strange. That's strange in a way that seems very targeted.
Yeah.
As if people are watching them and just looking for something to do.
Yeah.
Looking for something. And Key says, so really there was no probable cause if you didn't give a ticket for the tent. I'm confused as well.
That's why it feels like they're making stuff up, because no one is actually shocked.
Yeah.
Like, right. Of course, the burden for, like, when you are in a car to be searched, the burden is, like, pretty low. They can pull you over for reasonable and articulable suspicion. He articulated that he suspected that the car had a legal tint. And then now when they roll the window down, oh, I caught another violation. And now, oh, I caught another one. So let me call the canine unit. Oh, now I have probable cause.
I'm not surprised, but I think I'm more annoyed than anything that
it is. Like
what's the
listen, I don't think that Mr. Greer should have gotten a ticket for the tent.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. The issue that I have with it is, like, this feels very targeted at Miles specifically.
Because at this point, should we be doing some type of group therapy with the Fulton County Defense Attorney Office and all members of YSL? What is your real problem, girl? Let's talk it out. What is your problem? Because this is really sick. It's sick at this point.
It's easy to develop probable cause. It really is. Especially if you are actively searching for it when someone rolls down their window. Okay, and then he had his first appearance. Let me see. Okay, can you put up his first appearance form, not the bond form? Yes, this one. Okay, so this is his first appearance. Monetas did represent him. You know, I'm sure that he did great because he got bond, which is fantastic. $25K, good bond. The part that I want to note is right under where it says good bond. It's not marked. The defendant was served in open court with the state's petition to revoke the defendant's existing probation, and a warrant for the defendant's arrest was signed. That is not checked. So it does not seem that they presented him with a petition to revoke his current probation. And now he has a hearing on 3/28. We don't know what time yet. Yeah, and he had his $25,000 bond, which again was $10,000 for the firearm, and $7,500 for each count of participation in criminal street gang activity. Which he paid later that day and then got out the next morning. Okay, I think those are all of the documents that I have to show. Yes, okay. Okay, so let's go over his options. It is a very good bond.
Okay.
Listen, Menendez did a good job. Okay, he got him bond, he got him out. I'm sure he is up somewhere talking about government abuse right now. So what happens next? Basically, the two least likely options, in my opinion, they could drop the charges. I don't think they're going to. They could also go through the Probation Options Management Act. Basically allows his officer to impose an administrative sanction rather than formally revoking his probation. Those sanctions could be things like electronic monitoring, community service. I don't think that's the route that they're going to take, considering they have filed the pre-indictment charges. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, just because I don't think they're going to actually do that. Preliminary probable cause hearing in front of a magistrate judge. If there is probable cause, it'll be bound over to Superior Court. Since it's a new case rather than probation revocation, I don't know that it'll end up in front of Whitaker. It could be assigned to someone else. And then if the magistrate judge doesn't believe there's probable cause, which is probably, they will probably consider that there is, they'll probably determine there is probable cause just because it's a very, very low burden. But if they don't, I think Kayla has talked about this before, they're just going to go seek a grand jury indictment. This is how the state got felony charges against Yak for the riot in a penal institution, aggravated assault, and aggravated battery after a judge said they didn't have enough for a felony. They just took it to a grand jury and got an indictment that way. As Yates has said many times, you can indict a ham sandwich. And then another option is probation revocation. Any violations will go back to Whitaker. With this particular violation, his probation can be revoked for up to 5 years, but because he is under first offender, we know that Whitaker could also resentence him to up to 20 years. I don't believe that they have started the revocation process yet. The last thing filed in the RICO case is his final disposition, and he wasn't served with a revocation warrant at his first appearance on the 8th, but we know that there's not really a way for us to actually see if there's an active revocation warrant, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility here. They just haven't formally initiated in the RICO case in front of Whitaker. If the state does try to revoke his probation, I don't think that Whitaker is actually going to sentence him to 20 years. Generally, I think she's pretty fair. And I do remember her face when Abate was reading that factual basis during his plea and how she snatched that paper out of his hand. And frankly, the eye rolls did not really give me the impression that she was buying it. And with the allegations in this particular case, I don't think that they have enough to revoke his probation, even with the lower preponderance of the evidence burden. They definitely don't have enough for constructive possession. Even with equal access is a defense, not the basis for a charge. And the case law on equal access in Georgia also seems to weigh heavily in Miles's favor, specifically in stating that simply being near the firearm, merely being in presence in like the same vehicle, in the same house, in the same residence as the firearm, or within arm's reach of the firearm, as this warrant suggests, is insufficient when someone other than Miles had an equal opportunity to access that firearm. So frankly, I don't think that they have enough to revoke his probation. I really hope that that is not something that they will try to pursue with him. I am a little bit worried that because this is a felony charge, the statute of limitations. Yates, I've also seen people revoked on stuff like this, which is why I'm concerned anyway. And I am really hoping that Paige will actually look at the affidavit especially as it relates to the factual basis for Miles specifically, and that she's going to be able to see that, like, there's just really not a lot here. Because I do believe that he's trying his best to be compliant with all of the conditions of his probation. And, you know, like, his criminal history, like, it doesn't really seem like he has, like, the propensity to violate his probation at all. My concern, the statute of limitations is like 4 years because it's a felony. And I could be wrong on that. I don't know if there's specific statute of limitations on these particular charges. That might be a question for Yates as well. Yates, I hope they have cameras in there with that revocation, because I want to see what Storno has to say. And I think that there is a chance that they might end up just holding it over his head and, like, not filing a criminal indictment. Because once you file that indictment, I think that you have 2 terms of court to actually start, like, initiate trial proceedings. So my concern is that they're going to try to delay and delay and delay for as long as possible, just to hold the threat of incarceration over his head. Part of the reason that I am worried about that is because of what they are doing to Mr. Nichols right now. So unfortunately, Mr. Nichols, obviously he pled unless he files a speedy. Okay. Thank you, Yates. Oh, that's a relief. I want to talk about Mr. Nichols. He pled eligible for parole after 40 months, would receive credit for the 31 months he had already served. He took that plea on October 29th, so he should be eligible for parole in late July. On February 21st, Fonnie Willis and her office handed down a criminal indictment for a riot in a penal institution charge that was initially filed in 2023. Prior to this indictment, the actual criminal indictment, the last action on the charge was March 18th, 2024. So if he is granted parole, the state could very well transport him right back to Wright Street to be held in pretrial detention on this new charge. Yes, for Nichols' true story. And, like, it's not lost on me that they finally filed this criminal indictment just a few months before he's eligible for parole. And this type of behavior is what I'm. What?
Aaron, is this the one when, like, all of them got into a fight or something in Wright Street?
No, this is a different one.
This is different. Baby,
yes.
Fonnie in that damn Fulton County board. This is crazy. Fonnie.
Yes,
okay.
This is for real. Not lying. The case number is 25SC001097. The criminal indictment was filed on February 21st. And these type of games are why I'm, like, particularly worried for Miles, that they're going to continue to stalk him and harass him and try to hold this stuff over his head. I really hope that that doesn't happen. You know, I hope that their brain cells, like, start working at some point, and they are able to, like, recognize that, like, Miles is not, it's not like he's intentionally trying to violate his parole or his probation, sorry. He's just, supervisory conditions can be hard. He's doing the best he can. You're right, Key. Yeah, I'm worried for him. So praying for his safety. Hopefully he's able to. No, Claudia, they would not be able to file a class action lawsuit for harassment or entrapment. Technically, the tent makes it a valid stop. Do I think that they were, like, pulling stuff out of their butts to try to get Miles? Yeah, absolutely. But they had reasonable and articulable suspicion for the stop, so it's not going to be considered harassment or entrapment. Like, this kind of stuff happens all the time to people in every county, in every state. this is why it's easy to violate the conditions of your probation. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best for Miles. And that's pretty much all I can say at this point, because I also don't want to say anything that could get him caught up in court. So
that's right.
Yeah.
You said at this point, okay, you just responded to that. I guess for me, after hearing all of this, thank you for going through the affidavit. After hearing the affidavit, it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Just foolishness.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the YSL case in a 3.5 essay.
Yeah.
Foolishness.
Because, I mean, I'm aware that a lot of the allegations that they put in there were like just general, these are things that we have seen other gang members do. It's like, well, you're saying it in a way that insinuates that Mr. Farley is posing on social media with firearms and illicit proceeds, which is not true. He has like 4 posts.
I don't even know I just still want to be informed of the proceeds and what documentation shows the proceeds, because I know they're not going to go to them calls again. I know we are not going to have to sit through this case and listen to those wiretaps where the people didn't have any money. I just know we're not going to do that. Where are the proceeds?
Right. Like, I really want to know what they think, like where they think this came from, because all the stuff that Miles was on in that indictment was he posed for this Instagram post. He appeared in this music video. And I have watched a lot of the music videos just to see which, first of all, prop guns. You don't know if those are real firearms. The money that he's flashing in the music videos, we don't know that that's real either. That could also be a prop. We have no idea what was used in Winnie Lee's music videos. And in a lot of those music videos, honestly, Miles is like standing in the background talking on the phone. Like not even actively participating. And that is kind of like the summary of his case is he's just kind of there, not actively participating, and they're trying to get him anyway.
I don't have any words, because it's almost, somebody said it earlier, damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's exactly where all of them are right now.
Yeah. It's very, very messed up.
He said she's trying to figure out who they gonna put on the stand, child.
Storno.
So he cannot show his face again?
Yeah, probably. And he's gonna get up there and claim that they make a ton of money. They make substantial revenue.
Substantial revenue.
From that time back sales at the gas station.
Their word choice, they have to think about it. And at this point, do people still use the gas station at this point?
Probably not. It's been all over the case. So probably like, well, let's pick a different gas station.
Pick a different gas station. Because whatever that one is they talking about in this case, it's burnt up. It's burnt up. If Melanie knew about it, it's burnt up. Y'all got a $25 gang subscription fee.
Lord. Yes, they still use the gas station?
Never getting rid of gas stations. They never gonna do that, Yates.
Lord.
And people still stop it. Let me tell you something, Missy.
Well,
you're a brave soul. I don't want to ride past it. I told y'all I rode past the one that Drinks was at before he's on the live, and I was just driving. I said, Lord, I watched that video too many times. I was driving, and I think right as soon as I passed and I saw the FedEx, I said, oh my God. Baby, I had to hurry up and get the hell on. I said, I'm not in the right part of town.
Kayla, at this point, I'm convinced that he's gonna get there. Like, the car was riddled with crumbs of weed, so I got a canine.
And marijuana flakes. I'm not like a weed smoker, but is marijuana flakes make me? It doesn't make me seem. It doesn't seem like you could do anything with a flake. Just that it was there, right?
Pretty much.
He said I would have flew across the light like Shannon. Baby, I told you that homeless lady walked up to my car, ran that red light. I said, I understand why Shannon ran that red light.
Like, they can't really do anything because, again, like, marijuana possession is decriminalized in Fulton County. It's literally just cause to initiate Jumbo coming to snitch on them for the single oxy. Except Jumbo got it wrong because he thought it was on the driver's side.
And Aaron,
Jumbo did a bad job.
I still cannot believe that the warrant has listed Jumbo as a snitch. Is that normal?
Listen, the warrant did not list Jumbo as a snitch. That's my word. I think Jumbo is a snitch. Oh, okay. Jumbo should have minded his business.
Girl, Jumbo is the snitch. Okay, I thought it was in the affidavit. I said that Fulton County lost their damn minds now. Poor Jumbo. Jumbo out here being hated and he just doing what he was trying to do.
Jumbo needs to find a different job.
He's got to find a new job. He needs a new owner. They need to put him, go ahead and get him out of there. I think the YSL case is something that people will they will study for years to come. Not just the case itself, but mass incarceration. You could link to this case. You can link to abuse of power. You can link so many things that are wrong with our society. You can find it in this case. I mean, there's no way you sat through that case and you talking about this is some type of criminal street gang that brings in substantial revenue. Never. You can't this case and say that.
Jasmine, the person with the last name Johnson, we think that the warrant was like copy pasted because they referred to Miles as Mr. Johnson multiple times in the warrant. Just like randomly saying these actions highlight Mr. Johnson's role in perpetuating gang dominance and securing the gang's operational stronghold. We don't know who Mr. Johnson is.
All they had to do was put it in Word and find Johnson and replace the name. They lazy.
Right.
That right. You can't even copy and paste right.
That's why I was like, listen, I'm not going to say he wrote this warrant. He copied it. He hit Control-C, Control-V. That's it.
That's it. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing. So I thought Funny would tone it down because I thought that other man was going to be after her by now. But we in March and he hadn't done anything to her. And I guess she says she's in the clear. So she's going to just keep doing craziness.
What gives her the impression that she's in the clear?
I don't know. I said, I guess that's what she's thinking because this foolish. If I were her, I would say, you know what? Let's not do that. Let it go. Let it go.
Lord, okay. That is pretty much all I can say about Miles's case. He has a hearing on 3/28. I'm going to be keeping up with it for sure, just because they're clearly trying to mess with him. And I'm going to continue to be on their butts. So I'll let you know if I find out a time. And hopefully there will be cameras there. I don't know if there will be because it'll be like a probable cause hearing. But I'm keeping up with it regardless.
Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you for coming on and help and giving us all that information today, y'all. Now everybody has a better understanding of what's going on with Miles. That was the aim of this live, and I'm happy Erin was on here to talk to us about it because I mean, I have a lot of clarity, and I'm so. Oh yeah, thank you, Emmy. Please put some TY errands in the chat, please. Thank you. I'm happy because we were supposed to do this last week, and I had to change it. So I'm happy she was able to come on, and I thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if we get some updates about Miles, of course I'll put it on my socials and we'll come back and discuss. But he did send me some clothes that he has. I'm about to post it on my Instagram. So if anybody wants to see it, go on and purchase. I'm about to get something for my son. I'm not gonna get the slime thing. He do have some really cute slime hoodies though, but there's one set that I really like. Also, Yates, text me what it is you had so I could send it to him and maybe we can figure it out. I told him I'd ship it because I'm shipping stuff this week myself. So let me know, guys. I'm gonna post everything he sent me and tag him on there. Yates, I'm about to text you. Yates, my Instagram is Millionaire Mail, and Yates, I'm about to text you right now everything that he has. So hold up.
Yates is about to show up at his door.
Yes, y'all. I'm gonna tag him on my Instagram, guys. They're really cute. Everything that I saw. It's $125 for the hoodies, $200 for the sets. And they're really cute. So I'm about to post it. But Yates, I'm sending you right now. I'm texting you everything he sent me that he has in stock right now. If you see something that you want, Yates, we can work it out. And when I pick mine up, I'll pick yours up and I'll ship it to you. So yeah.
Latoya, his Instagram is _Slato. And then his Twitter is Slato24L. Love is going to be waiting.
Outside of Fulton County, baby. I can't go in Fulton County. You ain't going to have me on trial. Here goes somebody right now picking it up. No. So, yeah. But I have it. I'm gonna send it to you guys. And thank you again, Aaron. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, of course.
If y'all want it, I'm going to put it all on there for y'all. She said we're going to be unindicted co-conspirators. No, we won't. Thank y'all so much.
You better not sell that needlepoint. Otherwise, it's illicit proceeds. Sorry. Anyway.
Bye, everybody.
Wait, Mel. Before I get off here, you have to tell people how to join your memberships.
I don't know how. Thank you.
Lord, well, never mind.
I just know it's on my page, guys. I know it's on my page. I'm gonna do a video about it. I'm gonna have
Everyone subscribe, turn on your notifications, look out for the video where Mel tells you how to sign up for her memberships.
And thank y'all to everybody who signed up for membership. I'm happy to report. Thank you, Brianna, Too Pretty, Monique, Tasha, Jaleesa, India, Missy, and Ronnie's World. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to go tell my YouTube meeting. I'm about to get off here and go there and tell them all about my memberships that I got today. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. And thank you, Erin, for reminding me. Thank you.
Of course. Bye, y'all.
Y'all, see y'all later.